What to buy next for the Stormcast Eternals. Holy cow, what a big wave 2 release for Age of Sigmar. There is so much coming out on both sides of the evil and dead spectrum, of course. The parallels between the two factions in Soul Wars. It's great because anybody that picked that up can now get the battle tomes and all sorts of new additions. And we know there's a whole lot of new releases coming out in the White Dwarf as well. We've seen all that come out already. So, you know, a third of the new releases for both of the factions, the Nighthawks and Stormcast, are going to be easy to build kits. So very interesting how they're working that into their whole product mix, marketing mix sort of thing. So I don't know what it all means, but me personally, I prefer the multi-part kit. Make sure to weigh in the comments and let us know which one you prefer. So up, we've got for release this week, Stormcast Eternal Battle Tome. This thing is beefy. It's like 160 pages, $40 US. The Lord Exorcist model, $35 US. The Stormcast Eternal War Scroll card, again, beefy. No, these are $25. So $10 more than Night Haunts. Then we've got the new dice, and I don't know if you've seen the Night Haunt video yet, but these did not review very well, unfortunately. And then, of course, the Endless Spells also kind of didn't review so well. I don't know what's going on. What will we find out in these? What surprises are inside these boxes? Well, stay right there. All right, so we'll start at the same place we started at for the Night Haunt. So here is the War Scroll cards and the Stormcast Eternals dice. $25, $20 US here. We'll roll those up in a second. Now, this one, like I said, super beefy look. It's got its own flip top. Holy cow, look at all those double-sided cards. Remember, this is technically the third big rules release for the Stormcast. They have literally seen a new battle tome, well, at least 3, depending if you consider Extremis one of those there. So it's got all the great art on the back, and then all the units on the front. Now we got Chocobos, we've got Battle Cats, we got all sorts of things. They're all in here. It's crazy. I say crazy. Wow, I don't even know this. I didn't even look at all these yet, but we got Dragon Cats, Battle Cats. There's the Battle Cats. I don't even know. So many things, but again, it's laid out great. This is these are the game aids we needed. These just work. They put them down. They've got, you know, you got your landscape design. Everything's on it. Everything good to go. I mean, you need the points values, but those are in your battle tome, or you know, you could use the Azir app, and that's pretty much it. And then the standard one right here, you're gonna have all of them in here, plus all the endless spells right there, and I'll lay those out in case you haven't got the memo on exactly how those work, because those are the other big release here. And we'll talk about the token. Actually, the tokens, well, we'll kind of show you some of that stuff when we go over the battle tome, because there's the Vortex, the Arcanum, and Comet as well. So as far as the tokens, you don't get any objective tokens like you did with the Night Haunt. You still get some of the stuff, like some of the spells, some of the 2 different actual types of spells they have in here, and then some of the, there's all sorts of abilities from mounts to, it's just, there's a lot of stuff here to keep track of, and that's why they give you these. But it is a lot of stuff. You know, that being said, it's just kind of a cool little bonus. I would be buying it for the War Scrolls myself if I played them, but we don't play these guys. We can only have 1 gold army, and for us, that is our favorite Adeptus Custodes. Now, as far as the dice go, like I was saying in the other video, they look great, and it's cool that the symbols are on the 6 again, and the skulls are the 1, so you know immediately that you're effed. But what I didn't like about them was that they're colored. You know, they're not translucent. Can't see through them, right? So there's issues with that, because then if there's air bubbles and things, then it becomes an issue where, you know, unbalancing and things like that. But when I took the dice out of the Night Haunt plastic, there was a residue on them. Like the dice had not cured quite yet, and you could literally see the liquid on the bottom of this. Also, when I rolled one of the dice, it became very apparent that there was air bubbles. They were very visible on there, and this doesn't look like there's any uncured resin or anything like that in here. Let's see. Now these feel a little, it's not quite as solid as we've seen in the past for their sets, but kind of like them. Got no beef with them right now. Yeah, they're cool. They roll well. They feel pretty solid-ish. Not quite as solid as some of the other ones, but I'm digging them. Yeah, all right, we'll go with that. So as far as that goes, it doesn't look like there's any air pockets or any visible. Now there's some weirdness right there. What is sort of dust or staining? I can't tell what that is. And there is a little bit of stains. It's almost like it's the dye or some sort of leftover. You know when you use hot glue and you dab it and then you go to do it again, it like gets over and kind of like, see it right there. But it's just between the paint. I think it's just some sort of pigment or some sort of After Effects stain or something like that. It's very minor. It probably just wipes off with a little bit of water or something like that. So these appear to be a little bit better than the Night Haunt ones, which seem to be a little bit different of a material. This is more of a standard kind of dice material that you would expect to see. So I got no beef with those. So far so good. All right, next up is the Lord Exorcist, $35 G-Dub clam pack here. Single character on a 40mm base. There's the instructions for him. Seems pretty well detailed. He's kind of got that once again clam pack design. So it's interior, you know, basic torso detail, kind of sandwiched between, I guess it's more of a billboard type deal, sandwiched between some front and back capes right there, and then you've got your staff of justice and things, and he's kind of holding his book. Ooh, that's cool. Detail wise, yeah, it's looking fresh. Lots of good detail work in the robes, the knurling on the little staff right here. The helmet looks good. Where's his book? Oh, there's his book. Oh, his hand's kind of, oh, his hand goes from underneath the, oh, that's very forward thinking. I like that. Okay, cool. Oh, he seems pretty neat. $35 release for this bad boy right here this week as well. And then we've got the Endless Spells. Now we saw with the Night Haunt one that they actually didn't put the instructions in there for one of the things. Although, you know, it's kind of a no-brainer because it's one part, just clip it out. You can't be so mad about that. But I just thought it was really weird because, you know, I went to school for engineering and they teach you when you're designing a product how to actually make this instruction manual. And, you know, they tell you don't show anything that isn't explained. So like if you show all the pieces, you're supposed to put instructions for all the pieces in here. But I digress. Sometimes things happen, you know, whatever. We all learn from our mistakes. So all three of them are in this one here. So you've got, how many pieces is this? Holy cow. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is actually 4 pieces to this Celestin Vortex. The Dies Arcanum. Pretty self-explanatory, it goes together. And the Everblaze Comet, that's pretty neat looking. I like that one. That would be fun to paint with a little airbrush work. So you're gonna get the base for the Comet there, and then you can see the 2 halves, the Arcanum, and the top of the Dies. You know, for being the Chinese, because it says right on the box, you know, designed in the UK, made in China. They are getting so much better, but there's, you know, there's limits to what they're actually able to produce. But look at this detail work here. This is very, I mean, look at all the little writing and things here. Very, very cool. Very forward. There's a lot of potential here. I like this. There's a lot of potential here because, you know, we always want more and more releases, and maybe just doing this stuff over there just a way to kind of keep up with it. Watch your mold lines. Maybe that's actually supposed to be in it. So maybe doing stuff like this over there, and then, you know, upgrading the quality as they go, which we saw from, remember, the first 3 years ago, the Age of Sigmar train that came out. It did not look as detailed as this, that's for sure. So they're getting better and better, and you gotta hand it to them. Always improving and moving forward is the way to a gamer's heart, I suppose. Okay, on to the main event right here. Wow. Stormcast Eternal book. Look at this thing. It is so huge. Holy cow. 160 pages for this. Now, I like the new format. I like the new layout that we saw with it, that we're seeing with this stuff. It started with, I want to say the Daughters of Kin. No, it was the Deepkin. Definitely started with the Deepkin, like the new kind of layout. With the extra painted stuff in here. There's so much fluff on these guys, you know, with just all the chamber militants. just all this stuff in here. It's so much fluff. But what I like more as a hobbyist is the fact that they're putting all of these kind of like painting features in here, just enough to get you going, answer any questions, get you on the right path, get you inspired, get those hobby juices going and stuff. That is what this is all about. And in the past, you know, we've seen stuff like this come out of these books, and it's good to see it going back in here, because a lot of the stuff that's on these models is it's hard to do. Like fur, it's kind of intimidating until you realize dry brushing is a thing, right? So that's really cool to see. Now, as far as the rules themselves go, it literally takes up like half the book. Crazy. There's so many rules in here now. Allegiance abilities, not as many as the Night Haunts. You're gonna get the Shock and Awe, which there's actually a bunch of markers in the War Scroll cards, because when you arrive from reserve, which you can leave Duders in reserve, you are -1 to hit basically. So that's kind of cool to see. So it explains all of this here. So you want to start on page 116 if you're new to the game and you kind of want to check out, you know, exactly what kind of rules you need to know, or maybe just kind of a place to start. This is it right here. And then it's going to get into all sorts of special rules. Don't get intimidated. There's a lot of stuff in here, and this is kind of the exception more than a rule. So you've got battle traits, your command traits, all your artifacts of power, your 2 spell lores, not counting the, you know, arcane shield and mystic bolt, prayers for your priest. Then you've got mount traits. There's also talisman, or the banner guys, keyword talisman, they get special rules too. So all sorts of special rules in here. Then it's going to get to your War Scroll section, your battalion section, all that new great design. Path of Glory if you want to do the small kind of skirmish type deals. Pitch battle profiles, that's going to be your... So pitch battle profiles, isn't that? Yeah, that's all your points cost and everything. And then of course your allies are down at the bottom. So if you're thinking about playing Age of Sigmar and you're not sure, you just want to get something painted up easy, these guys are gold. They ally with everybody. They're pretty resilient. They're not over the top in any particular way or fashion, but they're just good, all around good. And everybody always seems to have extra Stormcasts, so it might not be a bad place to start, right? So just kind of got to flip through and figure all your directions and things out. There's all sorts of different artifacts of power that you can pick. Command traits you can pick too. Standards. Just certain things for certain models. There's just all sorts of stuff in here. Your wizards can have 2 different lores. Your priests get prayers. There's mount traits. There's stuff for talisman. Where's the banners? I don't even know. There's so many rules in here. You just gotta read through it. I can't help. You gotta read through it. Then there's specific chamber militants that you can field that give you abilities, command traits, artifacts of power. It's kind of similar to how the Caradon Overlords, city guild things work. Then there's all that. Then you've got specific battle plans in here if you want to you know, play a flavorful game. Then you're going to get to the War Scroll Battalion section, which are, you know, just groupings of your miniatures. No big deal. Very easy to kind of understand. So there's going to be a bunch of those. Some are bigger, some are collections of other battalions, but there is a ton in here. Like I said, remember, a lot of these rules are going to seem familiar, or a lot of these names are going to seem familiar, right? Because they have had literally a book every year for the past 3 years. Then it's going to get into the War Scroll section, which is going to finish up with their points costs in the back, and the endless spells are right there as well, I believe. Yep, there they are right there, but we already showed you those as well. So that's just kind of a brief overview. Again, a lot of material, a lot of reading. We got a lot going on here at the studio, so we're not going to dig much further into it for you guys, but just giving you an idea of where to start, what to buy for the new Stormcast Eternals this week, at least. We know there's a whole lot more. I think there's 9 new releases for each faction, so kind of crazy. Lots and lots of stuff coming out. So this is we'll call it here for this one. Thank you for watching. If you like these type of videos here on the channel, make sure to work out those hobby muscles, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.